Niggas be mad cause they can't, nigga, cause they couldn't lil boy me, nigga, and lil bro me, nigga, and say that they put me on. No, I put myself on, nigga. I put all my homies on, nigga. Something that you niggas don't do. You they friends? Them niggas bombs. Like, what's really going on? Like, my dad, like, what? YG, not independent. What about Snoop Dogg? He beat a murder, not the death penalty. My Lil Boosie, he beat one murder. I beat one murder. Attention, nigga. Conspiracy, nigga, yeah. Nigga, if y'all gonna talk, nigga, know what y'all talking about, nigga. I put all my homies on, nigga. Something that you niggas don't do.
Today's video is gonna be about Catchy and Draco. But we're gonna start off with Catchy first, because he would have more cases under his belt. But let's dive right into it. Catchy's first arrest would be when he was 18 years old, and he was arrested on September 8th of 2012. He was arrested for carrying a concealed weapon and resisting arrest. He would then have to sit for about a month, but on October 12th of 2012, he would take a plea deal, and they would give him 3 years of probation on that same exact day, and he would be released. He would then stay out of trouble for the next 7 months, but on May 29th of 2013, he would be arrested again, and this time it would be for one count of robbery. But as you can see to the right, the offense date would be October 18th of 2011, which would be 2 years before he even got arrested. He would then be held with no bail, but then 2 months later, on July 9th of 2013, he would plead guilty again, and he would get 2 years in state prison. But as you can see to the bottom, he would have 235 days of total credit, and Catchy was 19 at this time. But after doing his time, he would be released in 2015, where he would stay free for almost a whole year. But on December 16th of 2015, he would be arrested again, and this time it would be for a burglary. But as you can see to the right, the offense date would be December 16th of 2015 also, which would mean he most likely got arrested at the scene of the burglary. And as you can see, he would take a plea deal almost 2 weeks later on December 23rd of 2015. And he would get 16 months in state prison for this on December 23rd of 2015. He would then have to sit down until September of 2016. But a few months after being home, he would be arrested again on December 28th of 2016. He was arrested on one count of receiving stolen property, one count of pumping, and yes, I said it with a U on purpose, and he also had a warrant. But luckily for Catchy, he would get a DA reject on the P charge. But they would add one count of taking a vehicle without consent, so now he would be fighting that count and the receiving stolen property. He would then sit in the county jail for the next month, but then he would bail out for $120,000 on January 24th of 2017. He would then have court again May 4th of 2017, to where they would revoke his bail and remand him to custody. They would also hit him with a parole violation. But 2 months after having his bail revoked, he would take a plea deal on July 11th of 2017. But he would only cop out to taking a vehicle without consent, and they would give him 3 years of probation, and they would release him on that same exact day of July 11th of 2017. But 5 months after taking that probation deal, he would be arrested again for the 5th time on December 12th of 2017. And this time, he would be arrested for one count of grand theft and one count of burglary. And on top of that, they would hit him with a parole violation 2 weeks after, on December 27th of 2017. And he would have to sit in the county jail until his trial started. They wouldn't give him any bail. And while he was in the county jail, he would be hit with an indictment on July 24th of 2018. And this one would be for one count of vandalism and one count of dissuading a witness. The vandalism would stem from a video that him and Ralphie shot called The Right Decision. And for those that never seen the video, this would be it right here. But after a year and a half of sitting in the county, he would take a plea deal, but just for the vandalism. And 1 month after taking that plea deal, he would plead guilty on the grand theft, and he would have the burglary charge dismissed. They gave him 16 months for the grand theft, and then they would give him 6 years for the vandalism. They would give him 2 years for the actual crime, 2 years for a prior strike, and then 2 years because they're alleging that Stink Team was a gang. But luckily for Catchy, he would be able to run this case and the other case concurrent, so he would only get 6 years. And as you can see right there, he would have 1,292 days of total credit, which would be about 3.5 years. Catchy was then released in September of 2021, but unfortunately 5 months after being released, he would pass away. Catchy passed away on February 15th of 2021 at the age of 26, and the cause of death was a pedestrian car accident in Long Beach. where they allege he was hit by 2 vehicles. But rest in peace to Catchy the Great, and we're going to dive into Draco's cases now. But we're only going to cover his major cases. So we're going to start off with a big gun case against the Stink Team. He would be arrested on January 3rd of 2017 for 8 counts of possession of a firearm and 1 count of possession of an assault weapon. He would then sit in the county jail for 5 months, and then he would have 7 out of the 9 counts dismissed. But he would take a plea deal on 1 possession of a firearm by a felon and 1 possession of an assault weapon. He would take this plea deal on May 5th of 2017. And on that same exact day, they would give him 24 months for the possession of a firearm by a felon. Then they would give him 8 months for the possession of an assault weapon. So in total, 32 months. But he had 248 days of credit. But 10 months after taking that plea deal, they would be hit with another indictment on March 15th of 2018. And they would charge him with 1 count of conspiracy to commit any crime, 1 count of homicide, 5 attempted murders, and 2 possession of a firearms. But 6 months after they filed this case, they would dismiss it and refile it, just so they can add 2 more charges to Draco's list. And the 2 counts that they added was criminal street gang conspiracy and shooting from a motor vehicle at a person. This case would stem from the murder of Red Bull from Inglewood families, but I'm sure you guys already knew that. And if you don't, go watch my Kells from Stink Team video. But they would go to trial in the summer of 2019. And even though there were a bunch of people on this indictment, they would try Kells, Ralphie, and Draco together. But on July 25th of 2019, he would be acquitted of the 5 attempted murders. He would also be acquitted of the conspiracy to commit any crime. And he would also be acquitted of the murder. And he would also be acquitted of the felon in possession of a firearm. But unfortunately, he would be found guilty of the other count of possession of a firearm. He would then have to wait until November 4th of 2020 to hear about the shooting from a motor vehicle. And on November 4th of 2020, he would take a plea deal. And on that day, they would give him 5 years of probation for shooting from a motor vehicle at a person, and another 5 years of probation for possession of a firearm by a felon. So 10 years of probation in total. And on that same exact day of November 4th of 2020, he would be released. But after being free for only 9 months, Draco would pick up a new case. And this would be the case where he got pulled over and they would find a gun inside the Uber, and he would be hit with 4 different counts. They would charge him with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a felon, 1 count of possession of ammunition, and 2 counts of resisting arrest. A lot of people were saying that Draco got caught with a Draco, but as you can see, it doesn't say assault weapon. This right here would be the video of his arrest.
I can still pull you over. Your kid in the car or not?
What this nigga's talking about, bro?
I'm gonna take your kid out of the car, okay?
What is going on, bro? What did I do for y'all to put me? Y'all pulling over an Uber driver, bro. What is going on?
But we need him going with the program.
What is the...
Just get out of the car and we'll handle this.
Damn, Draco, let's... Put over an Uber driver with my son in the pool.
He would then bail out for $35,000 that same exact day, and he would have to go back to court on December 23rd of 2021. But unfortunately, Draco would lose his life 4 days before that, on December 19th of 2021, at the age of 28. But that right there is the story of Draco the Ruler and Catchy the Great. But that's going to wrap it up for this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. It's Respectable Rants.